Life can often feel like a precarious balance, where a single choice or a moment of weakness can unravel everything we hold dear. I find myself reflecting on the past, wishing I could turn back time to that fateful night when my reckless words, fueled by alcohol, shattered my world. I let my emotions take the reins, but deep down, I know I can't solely blame the drink. I was the architect of my own destruction. My name is Emily, and this is a haunting tale of how I lost the best thing I ever had. At 30 years old, I was married to Luke, a man who embodied everything a woman could desire in a partner. He was not just reliable. He was the kind of person who would drop everything to lend a hand, someone with a generosity that extended beyond material things. Luke poured his heart and soul into running his small business, yet he made it a priority to nurture our relationship, ensuring that it never took a backseat. He remembered my coffee order, without me needing to say a word, stayed up late to assist me with tasks I hadn't even recognized I needed help with, and always made me feel loved and secure. In the beginning, I cherished these qualities, captivated by his steadfast nature and unwavering devotion. However, as time passed, my perspective began to shift. I started spending more time with friends, listening to their tales of partners who were taller, fitter, and more adventurous. Social media didn't help either. My feed was inundated with images of seemingly perfect couples traveling to exotic locales and sharing grand romantic gestures, living lives that appeared thrilling and enviable. Gradually, I began comparing Luke to these idealized relationships. At first, I chastised myself for being ungrateful, reminding myself that love isn't measured by physical appearances or extravagant moments, but by the quiet, steadfast devotion of a partner who genuinely cares. Yet, despite this understanding, doubts began to fester within me. I felt trapped in a cycle of discontent, questioning whether I truly valued Luke's love or if I was merely settling for a life that lacked the excitement I craved. Then came the night that shattered everything. It was a typical girls' night out, filled with laughter, drinks, and music, a night that spiraled out of control. I lost track of my limits as one drink turned into 3, then 4. The alcohol coursed through my veins, amplifying my feelings of self-pity and resentment. When I stumbled back home, I found Luke waiting for me, ever patient and caring, ensuring my safety. Instead of feeling grateful for his kindness, I was inexplicably resentful. Looking into his kind, expectant eyes, I let the cruel words slip from my lips. "I'm not even attracted to you anymore." Those 6 words were enough to fracture the very foundation of our marriage. I saw the pain flash across his face, but he didn't argue or demand an explanation. He simply stood there silent, absorbing the blow. The rest of the night became a blur. But the next morning, as I awoke with a pounding headache, the reality of my actions hit me like a tidal wave. Luke sat at the edge of the bed, staring at the floor, his entire demeanor heavy with devastation. When he finally spoke, his voice was quiet and laced with pain. "Is that what you really think of me?" Hearing my own words echoed back was like a punch to the gut. Panic took over as I scrambled to explain, blaming the alcohol and insisting I hadn't meant it. Luke simply nodded, got up, and walked out of the room. His silence was a dagger to my heart, a sign that my words had cut deeper than I could have imagined. From that moment on, everything changed. Luke didn't respond with anger or vindictiveness. He became distant, retreating into himself. The thoughtful gestures that once characterized our relationship ceased. He no longer checked in on me during the day or sent sweet messages. The love that once filled our home was replaced by an unbearable emptiness. Desperate to mend what I had broken, I tried everything I could think of, cooking his favorite meals despite my lack of culinary skills, leaving handwritten notes in his lunch reminiscing about our early days together. One night, I even attempted to initiate intimacy, hoping that physical closeness might bridge the chasm between us. But he looked at me with weary, sorrowful eyes and said, "Not tonight, Emily. Maybe another time." But that time never came. Instead of confronting the wreckage I had created, I made another mistake. One Friday night, suffocated by silence and guilt, I sought an escape, convincing myself that a night out would help clear my head. That's when I met him. A confident, charismatic stranger who was everything Luke was not. When he sat next to me at the bar and said, "You look like you've had a long day," I should have walked away, but I didn't. I let him talk to me, allowing his attention to make me feel desirable, and before I knew it, I let him kiss me. The moment our lips met, a sickening realization coursed through me, as if I had plummeted off a cliff. Turning, I saw Luke through the dim lighting, sitting in his car, watching. My heart stopped. He didn't get out, didn't cause a scene. He simply rolled up the window and drove away. That was the moment I knew I had lost him. The next morning, I clung to a desperate hope that we could fix things, that he would return and allow me to explain everything. But when I entered the kitchen, he was already there, calm yet resolute. "You made it clear last night that you don't respect me or our marriage," he said. I begged, pleaded, and insisted it meant nothing, but he just shook his head, pain etched across his face. "I need some time to think." Then he packed his bags and left, never to return. It has been 6 months since that night. Luke is thriving, dating someone new, someone beautiful who brings him happiness, while I am left alone, living with the consequences of my choices. My friends have distanced themselves, unsure of how to support me, and even my mother, upon learning what happened, simply shook her head and said, "Emily, you had everything most women dream of, and you threw it away." She was right. This isn't a story of redemption. There is no fairy tale ending where everything miraculously falls back into place. This is a cautionary tale, a painful lesson that I carry with me every single day. If you take anything from my story, let it be this: do not take for granted what you have. Love is not about excitement or fleeting passion. It is about commitment, appreciation, and the quiet moments that build a life together. Once it's gone, you may never get it back, and I will spend the rest of my life haunted by that realization.